Right now, frustrated over the politics of wearing a mask, a local health director is stepping down as COVID-19 numbers are higher than ever in Wisconsin.
Plus, we're seeing more people in the hospital for COVID-19 than we have in months in Dane County. What the Dane County executive says you can do to help.
And a local church is putting a new spin on reaching mind, body, and spirit.
This is News 3 Now at 5.
And thanks for staying with us. Sauk County will need to find new leadership to help manage its coronavirus pandemic response. The county's health director is stepping down.
In Tim Lawther's letter of resignation, he blames a political divide. Our Gabriella Becerra spoke with him and asked what happens next for Sauk County.
Sauk County is similar to the whole country. There's a clear divide on how to handle COVID-19, and it's a reason why the public health director is leaving after just 1 year in his position. As a public health director, Tim Lawther says he looks to science and data to determine what's best to protect his community from the coronavirus. But he knows not everybody does, and that's why he's choosing to leave.
We choose to fight with one another and make it a political tool to have one side go against another side just because they happen to wear a piece of cloth over their face or they don't.
Lawther says he's been frustrated for months and doesn't feel like there's much left he can do in his position to make change.
This using COVID as a political tool to tear people down really is just not, it doesn't make any sense to me. It's not going to get us out of this problem. It's going to do nothing but alienate one side from another.
In his resignation letter, Lawther says county leadership decisions prohibited him from having a voice in the community.
The nature of the way he responded was a little surprising.
Sauk County Board Chair Tim McCumber says he understands Lawther's frustration, but says that stopped him from getting through to some county board supervisors.
You know, if you're going to look at everything through that lens of being political, then how do you move forward?
Lawther says he hopes the next director will be able to pick up where he left off and do what he couldn't. Lawther's last day is October 14th, and the county will select his replacement. In Baraboo, Gabriella Becerra, News 3 Now.
The Sauk County Board Chair says the county is working with several agencies to fill that position. There is a deputy director who is trained to do Lawther's job in the meantime.
Let's check your first warn forecast. Here's Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti. Gary?
Well, clear skies last night allowed temperatures to drop to around freezing over much of the state, but right now we've got bright sunshine, and that's allowing our temperatures to warm up pretty nicely. You can see a visible cloud track, very few clouds anywhere across the state of Wisconsin. Last night here in Madison, we dropped to 33. Many locations were in the low to mid 30s. Lone Rock down in the Wisconsin River Valley, they were down to 30. Boscobel dropped to 28 degrees. Wautoma was at 25. But current temperatures are right around 60, give or take a degree or two in the Madison area, and in the middle 60s over southwestern Wisconsin. Look for mostly clear skies this evening. Temperatures will drop down to the upper 40s by tomorrow morning, so it won't be nearly as cold, and tomorrow will be sunny and even milder with a high temperature of 69. Later on, I'll take a look at a forecast that includes more mild and dry weather for the rest of this week.
All right, Gary, thank you. This is a live look at Walter Reed Medical Center in Bethesda, Maryland, where in the next half hour, President Trump is expected to be discharged. He's expected to return to the White House after spending 4 days at the hospital getting treated for COVID-19. In a briefing in the last couple of hours, the president's doctor says he will continue treatments at the White House.
Though he may not entirely be out of the woods yet, the team and I agree that all our evaluations, and most importantly, his clinical status, support the president's safe return home, where he'll be surrounded by world-class medical care 24/7.
2020 Democratic presidential candidate Joe Biden hit the campaign trail in Florida today after his latest COVID test came back negative. Vice President Mike Pence and his wife Karen also tested negative for the virus.
Meanwhile, White House Press Secretary Kayleigh McEnany says she has tested positive for COVID-19 just days after the president's diagnosis. She says she tested negative every day since Thursday, but then tested positive this morning. McEnany says she doesn't have any symptoms. She says she had no knowledge of Hope Hicks testing positive on Wednesday prior to her White House press briefing on Thursday. She spoke briefly with reporters Sunday evening, but says no members of the White House press corps spent enough time around her to be considered close contacts. The president is expected to be released from the hospital about 5:30 this evening. As Susan mentioned, we continue to have coverage of this release on News 3 Now at 6. That'll actually air tonight. We want to pass along a programming note. News 3 Now at 6 will air a half hour earlier at 5:30 because the Chiefs-Patriots game has been moved up. It'll air on CBS tonight, 6 p.m. We'll be running the CBS Evening News in its usual time on TVW, which is channel 3-2 over the air. Right now, a hearing is underway as a conservative law firm is asking a judge to immediately put an end to Wisconsin's mask mandate. Attorneys for the Wisconsin Institute for Law and Liberty filed the request in Polk County Circuit Court for an immediate injunction to declare the order invalid and void. It was part of an amendment to a lawsuit they filed there in August against the governor's first mask mandate. Prosecutors say Governor Evers is overstepping his powers because the mask mandate declaration, they say, was only good for 60 days.
State of emergency may not exceed 60 days unless extended by joint resolution of the legislature. No other exceptions. This makes sense. If the emergency is truly of a nature that Wisconsin needs the governor to have more than 2 months to act unilaterally, the legislature will vote to extend. If not, it won't. Now that's the framework. We could debate its wisdom all afternoon, but ultimately it's the law. It's the law, but in this case, the governor disregarded it.
The text of the law is not so narrowly confined. It empowers the governor to declare a state of emergency in response to a disaster, whether or not that disaster emerges out of a change in circumstances or it emerges out of circumstances that in some ways may have already been present.
The hearing is still going on. We'll have more in our later newscasts and at channel3000.com.
After recording less than 2,000 COVID cases yesterday, county dashboard data shows that Wisconsin recorded more than 2,000 cases today. According to data from the Wisconsin Department of Health Services and local health departments, health officials confirmed an additional 2,055 COVID-19 cases. That brings the state's total number since the start of the pandemic to 134,763. An additional 8 people have died due to COVID-19. Cases on the UW-Madison campus are decreasing according to the latest numbers. 2 students tested positive and 305 tests were administered. So far, more than 3,000 students and staff have tested positive.
COVID-19 hospitalizations in Dane County have hit a record high.
Yesterday, there were 47 people being treated for the virus. That is the most we've seen during the pandemic. Amanda Quintana is here with what Dane County Executive Joe Parisi had to say about that.
Of those 47 people hospitalized, 13 are in the ICU. That's the most patients we've seen in the ICU in Dane County since early April. Before this past weekend, we haven't seen more than 40 patients hospitalized since early April as well. County Executive Joe Parisi says this is just another reminder that the virus is still here and it's dangerous. He says it's obvious there's fatigue, both in Dane County and across the country. People want to see their friends, they've been downplaying the virus, and they're attending weddings and parties again.
We're doing everything we can on the county level. As folks know, we were the first in the state to have stay-at-home orders. We were the first with a masking order. But unfortunately, we're surrounded by counties and a state that doesn't have a lot in the way of guidelines. It's good that there's a mask.
Parisi says most of the state does not have restrictions on gatherings. There is also no federal guidance. He wants to see state legislators come together and set more statewide restrictions to reduce the spread. Parisi says with the community spread we're seeing, some people have no idea where they got the virus. So when you go out, you have to assume that the people around you could have it. You need to social distance and wear a mask.
Amanda, thank you. Governor Evers announced today an additional $50 million in COVID-19 support for Wisconsinites. $10 million will be directed toward child care for school-aged kids during the pandemic. $10 million will be invested in the Wisconsin Rental Assistance Program. $10 million will go toward the Food Security Initiative to fight hunger, and $15 million will be invested in Wisconsin's Low-Income Home Energy Assistance Program. The funding comes from the Federal CARES Act.
The Wisconsin Department of Workforce Development says it has processed now nearly 92 92% of unemployment claims since March 15th. DWD says over 7 million claims have been received, almost 6.5 million of them resolved, while almost 600,000 claims are currently still being processed. Over $3.86 billion have been paid out to Wisconsinites.
Beloit police are looking to interview anyone who may have been part of a large gathering at Park and Grand Avenues early Saturday morning. Just after that, a 26-year-old woman was shot and killed. Chelsea Payton died, and another man was shot and injured. Police in Beloit say they're pursuing many leads, but they need the public's help. If you have any information about the shooting, you're asked to call the Beloit Police Department.
Middleton police say one person is in the hospital after crashing their vehicle into a church this morning. Police say a car hit St. Bernard's Church on Parmenter Street in Middleton just after 1 a.m. Officers say the crash was caused by, quote, driver behavior, that alcohol was a factor. The church expects to still be able to hold mass tomorrow morning. 19 Madison businesses and their insurance provider have filed a lawsuit against American Transmission Company. The lawsuit claims ATC and its insurance provider failed to properly maintain components of the electrical substation on Blount Street, which caused the explosion and blackouts throughout the city in the summer of 2019. Thousands of Madisonians were without power and air conditioning for hours on one of the hottest days of the summer. You can read the full lawsuit on our website, channel3000.com. A building that helps hundreds of people focus on their spiritual health is adding mental health to its focus.
To the people who run Madison's Mount Zion Church, it's a natural fit. Margarita Vinogradov shows us how the new program will work.
I told them I wanted this church to be a hub of hope. I just didn't want to be the biggest building on the block.
The Reverend's Mount Zion Baptist Church revealed that vision, a therapy office within the church. Alan saw the impact the pandemic and social unrest is having on his congregation and saw a need.
Right, it's very unique, very uncommon, but it's very much so needed.
Alan said each July, in honor of Mental Health Month, his church focuses on talking about the topic. This year, it was clear those conversations needed to grow.
But now I can just grab somebody by the hand and walk them down the hall and get them to a professional that can help them through whatever distress they may be enduring.
Alan chose Anissa's family therapy, particularly because they can meet the needs of the community culturally. Everyone, not just church members, are able to find help here.
A lot of times people just need somewhere to drop in. They're having a situation or a crisis, and they can't wait to be seen. They need to be seen that day.
Myra McNair and Alan hope to eventually offer scheduled appointments too.
The goal is to be whole, mentally, physically, and spiritually.
Mount Zion is Madison's largest Black congregation, with more than 500 members. McNair says her husband, who's a minister, helped her see a church was a perfect place to reach the people it's already serving.
We're putting it in a non-traditional place because we want to normalize mental health wellness.
In Madison, Margarita Vinogradov, News 3 Now.
Anissa's will assign Mount Zion a crisis stabilization worker and a clinician every Tuesday. Mount Zion aims to keep this free service to all. To do this, they're asking for help from the community.
Still ahead on News 3 Now at 5. The city of Madison is helping Black businesses prepare for the future.
And then coming up in the next half hour, Middleton police are trying to track down the person responsible for these stickers with a white supremacy message that were attached to a local newspaper.
And a check of the markets to start the week. The Dow opening with a 466-point gain on this Monday. The Nasdaq climbs more than 257. The S&P jumps 60. And we'll be right back.
General Heating and Air Conditioning. Our large fleet of service vehicles are nearby, and our mobile fabrication shops allow us to save you time and money. When your home comfort system needs servicing or replacing, turn to the experts at Carrier and General Heating and Air Conditioning.
Everyone loves a good snack, and we've got plenty to choose from at Blaine's Farm and Fleet. From classic candies and gummy go-tos to craveable chocolates and savory trail mixes, we're your snacking headquarters. Your choice of Farm and Fleet chocolate favorites or trail mixes, just $3.49. Get Farm and Fleet licorice or gummies, your choice, just $1.99. Cattleman's Cut beef jerky is only $9.99. Plus, buy online and pick up your items in our convenient drive-thru.
Find value at Blaine's Farm and Fleet.
Joe Biden isn't an epidemiologist. He's not an economist or military general. But what he is the kind of leader who listens to the experts and a candidate who has earned their support. And what he'll be is a president who leads us out of this crisis and a commander-in-chief who respects those who have served. Because Joe Biden knows this moment is not about him, but about what we can do together. FFPAC is responsible for the content of this ad.
This is our moment to build a new American economy for our families and for our communities. When we spend taxpayers' money, we should use it to buy American products and support American jobs. It's time to help small businesses. We'll purchase clean energy technologies to fight climate change and enhance national security. We have to invest in what the jobs and industries of tomorrow are going to be. We have a great opportunity to build back and build back better. I'm Joe Biden, and I approve this message.
Hi, I'm Brian from McGann Furniture in Baraboo. At McGann's, our #1 priority is treating our customers right. We want your shopping experience to be fun and informative so you have all the information you need to make smart choices. We're shoppers too, and we believe in treating our guests like family. We always have and always will. Discover the difference at McGann Furniture in downtown Baraboo. You'll be so glad you did.
General Heating and Air Conditioning. Our large fleet of service vehicles are nearby, and our mobile fabrication shops allow us to save you time and money. When your home comfort system needs servicing or replacing, turn to the experts at Carrier and General Heating and Air Conditioning.
Tuesday morning, in the middle of a pandemic and a nationwide recession, we're taking a look at a local business that's looking to expand its workforce.
Yeah, we're talking to Exact Sciences and getting their advice for your employer, too.
We'll see you Tuesday morning at 4:30.
Trust us to get it right.
To keep you prepared.
When severe weather is on the way.
And your family's safety is on the line.
Our team and technology are ready to help you stay safe.
Trust the First Warn Weather Team on News 3 Now. You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
Dane County is investing funds in the planned Center for Black Excellence and Culture in Madison. Today, Dane County Executive Joe Parisi announced he's putting more than $800,000 into the 2021 budget to help organizers pursue and acquire land on the south side of Madison for the Center for Black Excellence and Culture. The funds will help develop black businesses and connect employers with talented black professionals.
South Madison, when I was growing up, had sort of a reputation that it was South Madison. When you look at what's happening with the Urban League of Greater Madison, the Goodman campus of Madison College, and now we bring what we believe will be a crowning jewel of culture and celebration to this hub also. We believe that this is going to be the most beautiful, decorated, and exciting entrance into our city.
The Center for Black Excellence and Culture will be located on 3.5 acres on the 700 block of West Badger Road, situated in the historic black neighborhood of South Park Street, ultimately becoming a new landmark along the Beltline.
Giant gourd growers in northeast Wisconsin lined up the biggest and best of the bunch for a weigh-off this weekend. It's all part of the Wisconsin Giant Pumpkin Growers annual contest. So how do these pumpkins get so big? Well, one of the pumpkin pros says it's all about pollination.
We pollinate the pumpkins. We know what the mother and father is. We do plant genetics and things like that. They do require a lot of care. Pumpkin roots in at every leaf, okay? So people say, how do they get all this big? They got to root in all the time, and we figured out how to do that.
These growers usually get pumpkins that weigh between 1,300 and 1,700 pounds.
Gary was carving a few of those this weekend. He's got your First Warn forecast. We're warming things up a little bit this week, Gary.
Yeah, this will be a great week to carve pumpkins or go outside and enjoy the colorful fall colors because temperatures are going to warm up. Now, this morning it was pretty chilly. Most of the state had temperatures in the lower 30s outside of Eau Claire, La Crosse, and Superior, but Madison just above freezing at 33, Milwaukee 36, Green Bay 33, and there were pockets of temperatures in the mid to upper 20s through central Wisconsin. But three things you need to know. Sunny weather will continue through Friday. Will be partly sunny over the weekend into early next week. It'll be dry all the way through next Monday. The next chance of rain will probably be later Tuesday afternoon of next week, and it will be mild as well. High temperatures will be well into the 60s. In fact, several days we'll probably be looking at temperatures in the lower 70s. Now, the tropics are really starting to heat up again. Tropical Depression Gamma just kind of fizzling right over the northern portion of the Yucatan Peninsula of Mexico, but Tropical Storm Delta is really really starting to gain strength. Here is Gamma, now a tropical depression, just going to bring some heavy rain in parts of northern Yucatan Peninsula of Michigan, or of Mexico. But you can see Delta right now almost at hurricane force, maximum sustained winds at 70 miles per hour, gusts to 85 miles per hour, moving to the west right now at 8 miles per hour. Now notice the path of Delta. Right now it's a forecast to rapidly intensify into a Category 2 or maybe near Category 3 hurricane as it starts to move between the Yucatan Peninsula of Mexico and the western portion of Cuba, where hurricane warnings are in effect. Now, depending on whether or not it stays over the open waters of the Gulf of Mexico or interacts with the land a little bit more, that will determine its strength as it moves westward into the Gulf of Mexico. But right now, it's, if anything, just gives a glancing blow, picks up a little of that moisture from Gamma, and then gets into a Category 3 hurricane with maximum sustained winds of 120 miles per hour. This is by Wednesday afternoon. After that, a trough of low pressure moving in from the west will start to curve it toward the north and then eventually the north-northeast. And look what's right in the way, New Orleans. And with the counterclockwise wind circulation, that means you're going to have waters and high tides as well as a storm surge that could very easily start to push into the New Orleans area, especially later on this week into the Thursday, Friday time period. And then eventually, as the storm moves inland, it weakens into a tropical storm, but brings heavy rain and, of course, a lot of coastal flooding over the southeastern portion of the United States. Now, you can see there is Delta right now getting better organized. Again, it may pick up some of the moisture from Gamma as it moves into the Gulf of Mexico, but the rest of the country, very quiet. A lot of times when the tropics start to heat up, our weather is pretty quiet. There's a weak cold front to our north and west with a couple of showers in northern Minnesota. The front will come through with not much more than a wind shift and maybe allow our temperatures to cool off a little bit more at night later on this week. But right now, temperatures are in the lower to middle 60s through much of the state of Wisconsin, upper 60s over west central portions of the state, and notice this growing area of 70s out to the west. Tomorrow we could be up close to 70, same thing with Wednesday as well. So again, we've turned the corner, at least for the time being, on the temperatures. Tomorrow should be a mostly sunny and milder day, high temperature topping out at 69 degrees. Winds will be a little bit less than today. And then as we look at the 7 to 10 day forecast, lots of sunshine, breezy on Wednesday, high of 69, just a couple degrees cooler on Thursday with a high of 65, then back up into the lower 70s for Friday and Saturday, around 70 on Sunday, and lower 70s for Monday. Again, dry through that whole period. Some thunderstorm chances later Tuesday into Tuesday night on a cold front, and then temperatures drop a little bit below normal toward the end of next week. As we take a look at the first warn traffic right now, not seeing any issues right now on the Beltline, either direction. Maybe just a little bit of a slowdown towards Stoughton Road on the eastbound Beltline, not affecting travel times very much. About a 15-minute commute either direction on the Beltline between University Avenue and the interstate. Down to Janesville from the Beltline southward on I-3990, it'll take you 26 minutes. 16 minutes to Sauk City on US 12 from Middleton northwestward, and from downtown to Sun Prairie, it's a 17-minute commute on East Washington Avenue and US 151. That's your News 3 Now First Warn traffic.
Gary, thank you. Ahead at 5, the Packers will be without a few offensive weapons tonight. We'll have the latest on who's in and who's out. That's ahead at 5.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
Introducing the Fall Parade of Homes, exclusively sponsored by Nuns. Safely tour a vast array of expertly crafted homes from top builders across the area. Meet the builders, discover new design trends. Visit MadisonParadeOfHomes.com for more information.
Our seniors that are being hit the hardest, they're frightened. And I want them to know that their health and safety will be my responsibility if I'm your president. And I'll have from day one, ready to go, the best medical experts and scientists to advise on our response. And I will not abandon you. It's a simple proposition, folks. We're all in this together. We got to fight this together. We'll emerge from this stronger because we did it together. I'm Joe Biden, and I approve this message.
Update your home with new flooring from Menards. Check out the great selection of over 200 different styles of Shaw and Great Lakes flooring. Add warmth to your living room with soft and luxurious carpet. Durable laminate flooring can be installed over most floors. Waterproof vinyl planks easily click together. Or add timeless beauty with hardwood flooring. Save with 11% off all Great Lakes and Shaw flooring now at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
We believe every baby deserves a healthy start. Yet many new parents in our community are struggling to afford the basic necessities. You can help change that.
October 8th through 11th, please donate to the News 3 Now Community Baby Shower. Drop off infant care items safely at these no-contact drive-through sites throughout Madison. Visit Channel 3000 for complete details. News 3 Now Community Baby Shower, sponsored by Viridian Homes and Dave Jones Inc.
Because of this, we built Ford Super Duty to be the most capable heavy-duty pickup ever. Because of this, we built Ford F-150 with 375 horsepower. Because of this, we built Ford Ranger with the terrain management system. And because Ford trucks are built for this, you made Ford America's best-selling brand. Now, get a built Ford Tough F-150 XLT with $10,272 in total savings.
A job's about a lot more than a paycheck. It's about your dignity. Under my plan, 50% of emergency small business relief would be reserved for the smallest businesses to recover from the economic mess we're in and to rebuild the economic future our country deserves. Building wealth for families of color. Building a future worthy of their courage and their ambition. Just imagine if we could truly unleash their full potential. I'm confident we can do this.
I'm Joe Biden, and I approve this message.
Introducing the Fall Parade of Homes, exclusively sponsored by Nuns. Safely tour a vast array of expertly crafted homes from top builders across the area. Meet the builders, discover new design trends. Visit MadisonParadeOfHomes.com for more information.
You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
Packers will be without their top two receivers tonight as they take on the Falcons. Green Bay's Devontae Adams announced on Twitter, a tweet since deleted, that he will not be playing in tonight's matchup with Atlanta. Fellow receiver Allen Lazard will also not play. He underwent core muscle surgery last week. As for the Falcons, their top two receivers, Julio Jones and Calvin Ridley, are listed as questionable. They are expected to play tonight, however, according to NFL Network. Packers game set to start at 8 tonight. Now, it's important to note that's about 45 minutes later than the previous schedule. That's due to the rescheduled Chiefs-Patriots game, and that game will air right here on CBS tonight at 6 p.m. And because of that game, our News 3 Now at 6 broadcast will be starting a half hour early tonight at 5:30, and we'll be running the CBS Evening News in its usual time over on TBW.
Milwaukee Bucks guard George Hill is being recognized for his impact on his community. Hill has been named a recipient of the 2020 End-of-Season NBA Cares Community Assist Award. The award recognizes 5 NBA players for their continued commitment to positively impact their communities. Hill and his Bucks teammates were instrumental in encouraging members of the NBA family to leverage their collective platforms to advance social justice after they elected not to play Game 5 of their first-round playoff matchup against the Orlando Magic on August 26th, following the police shooting of Jacob Blake in Kenosha.
And stay with us. We'll have a final check of your first warn forecast in just a moment.
Hey, Madison voters, don't let the pandemic suppress your vote. Create your safe voting plan now. You have options. Visit cityofmadison.com/clerk to create your safe voting plan today. Brought to you by the Madison City Clerk's Office.
Fry Construction is celebrating their 25-year anniversary, which means big savings on home repairs and improvements. No job is too small or too big, and your safety is always our concern. Respected in the industry and voted best of Madison, Fry Construction delivers lasting quality for your home. And now, for a limited time, save 25% off gutters or insulation with a full roof, siding, or window project, all with zero down, 0% interest for 12 months. Contact Fry Construction today.
The house before you, over 30 years old, still has its original window. It's bone chilling.
Folks, there's no need to be afraid of old windows. Just call Feldco for 50% off.
Right now at Feldco, get 50% off windows. Plus, no interest for 1 year.
50% off windows ends soon. Call now.
For quality windows, siding, and doors, call 866 for Feldco.
I served as an intelligence analyst locating roadside bombs and IEDs, and they were really just cutting through up-armored Humvees that we were driving at the time. One one day I saw this new vehicle that looked like, it would survive anything. It's what they call an MRAP, a mine-resistant, ambush-protected vehicle. And so it was so much safer for our troops in Iraq. And I found out that this senator that I really had never heard of, named Joe Biden, was the one who was responsible for getting these MRAPs to Iraq, for pushing this through when many said, we don't want to do this. Joe Biden said, look, this is going to save thousands of lives and limbs, and it's worth every penny that we spend on them. Joe Biden knows how to work with everyone, Democrats or Republicans, to get things done. He did this for our service members. Joe Biden knows what military families go through. He knows what it's like to send a child to war. When Joe Biden's commander-in-chief, he will put the safety of our troops first.
I'm Joe Biden, and I approve this message.
Get more for your kitchen now at the Brothers Maine Big Kitchen Upgrade Sale. We want you to absolutely love your new kitchen, so you'll get big savings on the latest incredible products from GE and our risk-free 30-day price satisfaction guarantee. We want you to be 100% satisfied every time. That's why we're the More Store. The Big Kitchen Upgrade Sale with more selection, more savings, and more kitchen. Now at the Brothers Maine, your local store for more since 1938.
Hey, Madison voters, don't let the pandemic suppress your vote. Create your safe voting plan now. You have options. Visit cityofmadison.com/clerk to create your safe voting plan today. Brought to you by the Madison City Clerk's Office.
Coming up on the CBS Evening News, the president says he'll leave Walter Reed and return to the White House to continue treatment. But tonight, there are new questions about his condition and the White House outbreak among staff and journalists. That's all tonight on the CBS Evening News.
And just a reminder, the CBS Evening News will air tonight on TVW, while News 3 at 6 will be right after this broadcast. Let's turn to Gary for a final check of the weather.
Well, look for temperatures to only drop into the upper 40s tonight compared to the lower 30s that we had last night. And tomorrow, with bright sunshine, we'll look for high temperatures around 70, and we'll be in the mid-60s to the lower 70s all the way through the weekend and into early next week. Next chance of rain probably late Tuesday into Tuesday night of next week.
All right, again, CBS Evening News over on TVW. Stay tuned here for News 3 now at 6.